Oh, well. Hello, guys. Good evening. We are setting up, trying to get a letter up on the screen for you guys, so we'll allow you guys to come in while we work on this. We thank you. Can, do you want me to try to copy?
You said what?
I was saying it's cut off halfway.
It's because.
Hi,
Can you
Monica.
see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we able to zoom it? Oh.
Oh man. Okay. Now I
Yeah,
gotta
keep going.
push
Yeah.
myself away from the computer because now I can't see it.
It, okay, see if we could go a little bit bigger. They'll be able to
Oh
read it.
Lord. I'm gonna have to go sit against the wall to read it.
That's probably as big as they
How big do you want it?
just for them to be able to. Oh, that's really good
Oh
right
my
there.
God.
Hey, beautiful one. Good evening. That's probably good. We have a letter from QZ's sister that she had wrote to the judge for her brother's condition.
Has anyone seen the letter?
We got this courtesy of Pamela. So shout out to Pamela.
Pamela. Yes, always on it. Hats off to
Yes.
you, ma'am.
Hi,
I
beautiful one.
appreciate you. Good
We
evening, everyone.
we
I've been
do.
MIA.
I told you guys. I had let them know I had a procedure done too. So
And I've just been busy, but let's jump right into it. Okay. So we are going to start from the bottom and all the way, or I'm sorry, from the top all the way to the bottom. So here we go. It's addressed to the Honorable Judge Whitaker at the Superior Court of Fulton County. Attention, Honorable Judge Paige Reese Whitaker at 136 Prior Street Southwest, Suite 5D, T-5855 in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, so it says, Dear Judge Whitaker, I'm writing to you with a heavy heart, compelled by the profound concern for my brother, Quandarius Zachary, who has recently been thrust into this distressing and unbearable situation. I implore you to consider the grave implications of forcing him to testify in a case given his severe health condition. My brother, who has been battling sickle cell disease with relentless courage, is not in a state to endure the strain of the court proceeding, let alone serve as a witness under these circumstances. Sickle cell disease is an unforgiving and debilitating condition. It has ravaged Quandarius's health, subject him to excruciating pain and frequent medical crises. On Friday, when he was arrested and faced with material warrant, it became painful clear how unfit he is to engage in this case. His physical suffering, coupled with the emotional toll of his current predicament, leaves him utterly incapable of participating meaningfully as a witness. Quandarius has constantly expressed his desire to plead the Fifth Amendment in this matter. His decision should be respected, particularly when weighed against the backdrop of his fragile health. It is not merely a matter of legal rights, it is a question of basic human decency and compassion. The emotional and physical stress inflicted upon him by his forced testimony could exasperate his condition, causing further harm to a person already in tremendous pain. I urge you to consider the principle established in the law regarding the protection of witnesses who are unable to testify due to severe health conditions. In the United States versus Kincaid 209-491, the court recognized that the witness's health could exempt them from testifying, particularly when their condition would be significantly aggravated by the participation in the legal process. Similarly, in Schlagloff versus Holder, 379 U.S. 104, the Supreme Court emphasized the importance of protecting individuals from undue stress and potential harm when their health is at risk. The burden of requiring my brother to testify while he is in such a vulnerable state is not only legally questionable, but also morally indefensible. It is a matter of recognizing the humanity of individuals who are already suffering. To force them into the courtroom would not only be a disservice to justice, but a profound injustice to a person who deserves compassion and understanding. Please, Judge Whitaker, I appeal to you to exercise your discretion in this matter with the utmost sensitivity. Allow Quandarius to remain free from the anguish and further deterioration of the health that can result from participating in this case. His well-being must take precedence, and it's in our hope that you will act with the empathy and fairness that the situation demands. Thank you for your consideration of this urgent and heartfelt plea. I trust that you will make a decision that reflects both the letter and the spirit of justice. Sincerely, Latoya Zachary, Quandarius Zachary's sister. One thing I want to say is it's very touching and emotional to read someone else's writing in regards to their loved one. And then based upon today, what happened in court, I do not see that the judge is going to.
And she already had the letter.
Oh,
This
okay.
this letter was sent when he got locked up, and I guess the judge must have just got it yesterday. So for this to occur today is wild.
So she obviously did not read any of the cases, and or if she did, she doesn't feel that it applies because whoever the state DA, or I'm sorry, the state's ADA that was there that had to accompany Quandarius's counsel at the hospital, I'm really getting conflicting information.
Yeah.
His counsel was saying that the physician was stating that any further issues would bring a crisis onto.
And you see,
The
they brought
person-
the investigator on, and the investigator said the doctor said it wouldn't affect him.
Exactly. But his counsel said otherwise.
Right. And his counsel said I was standing right there. So they need a doctor's note, number one. But what I would have put in the letter is how many he's been hospitalized 10 times over the past couple months.
Yeah.
He just had 2 blood transfusions, which they already know, but I would have exercised that. And then he's on 1 to 2 Oxycontin. That's the top pain med.
Absolutely.
And
I would not have pleaded to her. That's one thing I would not do because she's already exerting her power. I would not have said please. I would not.
Not only that though, she's taking that information as in, I felt like the lawyer got to come back with some medical documentation stating that, because we all know that if you're in a crisis, stress can bring you into a
Oh,
crisis, and
yes.
stress after transfusion is no good. I told them when the situation occurred that I know all about this. My daughter gets transfusions. She's got sickle cell. It's crazy. You really have to recover, and the pain that your body goes in, there's nothing you could do to really soothe it.
I can't even imagine that.
She
I
used
mean,
to
just
cry
reading
in
about
pain.
it, I mean, in school, you learn about it in school, but
Mhm.
actually going through it and witnessing someone go through that, I can't even imagine. I can't even say I understand. And one thing I don't like that Whitaker said was, well, if it's not going to cause him to die, then
That's what got me.
I'm just like, wait a
And
minute.
then when Love said, "We want to bring him right here to secure his testimony," and it's like,
Yeah,
dang, if y y'all got 128 more witnesses left. There is no reason why you cannot let him recover a couple weeks.
yeah.
And then you're taking the chance of him testifying under narcotics? Like, that's crazy. And then they didn't sign to get him out of jail, and he got a death in his family.
I know.
And
They
he
said
has
his
no
grandmother.
convictions. This is for a testimony. Like, the judge, I'm sorry, but that blood is on her hands too, because the way she showed no empathy today.
I know.
She was like, "You know what? He's using this as a crutch." That's how she looked at it. She
That
looked
needs to
at
be one of their remedies. They need to learn about sickle cell.
they need to learn about transfusions, and then they
Mhm.
need to go look inside of Rice Street and say, can this place adequately, can we trust them to make sure that nothing doesn't happen to this guy? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And then for Love to I was a little confused off of her verbiage because she said that she appreciated detective something or investigator something accompany her down there. And then it seemed 2 minutes later, she said that an investigator and a different ADA done went down there.
Right.
So I was a little bit confused on the wordage that she used. And then why are you withholding an affidavit if the judge can print it that fast?
Exactly. So I'm not
But
trusting
the lawyer
them
left with just a copy of the warrant, and she asked, "Did you want a copy of the affidavit?" But then he asked a different question. So I don't think he didn't ever get that second piece of paper.
because he knew she was being untruthful. He said she's not telling the truth, or either he's stated that she was
He
lying.
said, "That's not true, Your Honor. I was right there. The doctor said it would affect them." But then she put her investigator up there on the stand. And just to be clear, so everybody knows, that's the one that took out the affidavit. And the affidavit was taken out September 7th. That's when they put the warrant. So if y'all do remember September 7th, she did cover that in court. But why she didn't say that her assistant, he's a chief assistant. That is her right hand that does her work. Why didn't she say that in court on the 7th when she addressed it? So that
I don't.
warrant just didn't go out. She put it out on the 7th when they were having an argument about that. So a lot of people miss that. A lot of people miss that part. So the judge been knowing the whole way, but I believe what it sounds like is Love is playing it like, oh, well, he's dodging the subpoena. But then they have it on record, all three, two defense attorneys and the prosecution, where they have covered it. They have said that he was real, real sick.
Mm.
So how they're forcing his hand right now and the judge allowing it, the judge is signing off on this, which is crazy business to me, because how are you signing off? You guys are literally taking his entire life into your hand.
Wow.
So I'm confused. What when they did the affidavit on the 7th, so she should have been honest and told the judge, well, I just had my assistant do the affidavit for the warrant, and then y'all got the warrant 2 days later on the 9th. So why was Whitaker even asking any questions on him? She already seen the affidavit. She knew. So that make you question a lot of things as well, because why were you trying to get an update on somebody you already signed a warrant on that days prior? So where your head at as a referee?
She's a part of the we.
That's right. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what's going on. This don't make no sense.
This is just, it's disheartening. Today was a waste of time with the trial.
And then a whole testimony having to get struck. Like, love, what you doing, girl? Like, we ain't got no gun. We don't know if it was YSL. We don't know if it was If Gang, but I'm going to throw a whole person up here to talk about a shooting. We don't even know who did. But we think, our theory and belief, that it was YSL. It's like,
Right.
you're just like, I got to strike all this. Oh
It's
my.
always some intrinsic evidence. Okay. And this happened when?
But what she say?
2020?
What was her word? She said new evidence. And then they were like, what are you talking about? And then when she said it, they were like, oh my God. It's getting to the point of embarrassment. But
Yes.
see, when the judge said, I don't want to hear what's in furtherance of or what is the evidence, she was like, well, there was gun shell casings. Okay, what did you guys get from it? Nothing. Okay, move on.
Exactly. If you can't tie those casings to all of the prior shootings, then you have no case. And then too, where is
But
the RICO in this?
but that's the whole thing. Rico is still in Porto. Rico is still in Porto. Rico ain't left. Rico never left Porto. Like, he's still over there. Cause I'm not understanding. We had went over the other day about the elements, and it's just like there's the elements of a continuing criminal enterprise violation. You have to prove that the defendant committed a felony violation of federal narcotics laws with the S. The criminal was part of a continuing series of such violations. 3, the series of violations was undertaken in agreement with at least 5 other persons. The defendant managed, supervised, organized these other persons. The defendant received substantial income or resources from the enterprise. None of those can be met. None of those elements, because none of them link all of them together.
No. And they're
And
just trying to structure it according to the criteria,
yeah,
again, which
and
is null and void in this case.
yes, because even with them trying to cram it onto one element, they're still missing all the other. And they were nickel and dime hustling, and not even all of them, which is crazy. And that was proven because they never got no quantities of anything. So that you can't even tie it. So them, you notice yet that she kept on trying to push, well, I need to show Your Honor. Remember yesterday it was a big old tongue tie that this person is in connection with this person because they know they have to meet a certain number and the number is not matching. But they can't match it because they have to show that the one person that they think is the leader has organized every single bit of it. And that has never shown in any part of this entire trial. And you have to show that you benefited. And you have to show that there was narcotics and money and laundering involved, and they don't have it.
Absolutely not, because the YSL is a label. They're generating money from revenue when they go and perform.
And that's what's so crazy is she couldn't even take the loss. She had to keep arguing. And then when she went through all the rest of that next explanation that was just all ran together and it still didn't go nowhere. It's like, how do y'all think y'all can walk in and get away with and try to put things together and connect them with no evidence to none of the gentlemen? Like where in your mind you think that that's some type of justice?
Wow.
I mean, you have to think of, they ain't even called their, wait till it's the defense's turn to call their witnesses. And wait till you see the stuff that they put up, because I'm gonna tell you, they're really, really reaching. They said because it was the same bullet casing that was done in another shooting. Fool, you think that's Fulton County? You think there ain't the same bullets running around that entire city?
That's the thing, especially if they didn't get the gun to do a ballistics test.
Correct.
Okay.
And you got no fingerprints. It's like you have to be for real. You can't tie things together and you don't know who. And then the judge getting emails from who the state is saying a victim, and she's saying, I'm not a victim. I don't know why I keep on being labeled a victim. I am not a victim. My house was an innocent house that happened to be struck, and that's that. I am not a victim.
But not only that, when Whitaker said she received an email from someone that said that she has to be in court per Whitaker's request.
Oh yeah, they let Hilton off of that. And I believe that was a real tactic that they smooth got away with on that. They smooth got away with that. I'm gonna tell you that. She put that word in on purpose. They said it came out to be a misunderstanding. There wasn't no damn misunderstanding there. You said it how you said it, and they turned around and you didn't think it was going to get sent to the judge. So they need to be doing in-camera inspections continuously with them. Period.
I agree.
But if ain't nobody viewed they trash can, they a fool and a half.
Man,
they got that little in-camera review. And then how Whitaker always, how are you always telling somebody, you guys had this much time and your butt ain't even read what you were supposed to read, and then to say, you mind if the defense just sort through it? It's like, girl, there's enough work to go around. You don't bring nothing home. You ain't reading up on what happened previously. You made that clear. And you ain't got that done. That situation with the emails, that's how all the accountability keeps on going away, because the stuff keeps getting pushed out down the road and something else kick up.
They've had how many years? 10 years to build this case, correct?
Almost 10. It's been 9 and some change.
And they still don't have their case together.
Well, it's hard to put together BS.
Yeah.
And then it's like, girl, you have an assistant, so stop playing. You know, you got to stop playing these games. And Whitaker acting lost on the little D situation. And girl, you're reading affidavits and signing warrants. And then when he was like, he's not going to get on the stand, Your Honor, she was like, if I tell him he is, I was like,
Exactly.
girl,
And that's
he
why I
didn't
said I
even mean it.
wouldn't. That's why I said she is abusing her power. I would not have pleaded to her.
For real.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, I felt like they should have stressed it a whole different way and why they couldn't get a copy. Why they couldn't get a copy of it. Because that's wrong right there.
Yeah.
And the judge just come with it at the snap of the fingertips. But the accountability pieces go away because they're always late on something. And then something else occurs. Like that email situation, that don't need to go away. That's a situation. So that needs to hurry up and get figured out while that is still being talked about today and still not complete. And since then, they've been yelled at for not having enough witnesses to carry him through the day. And then
Yeah.
bringing somebody up where they had to straight the whole testimony again. She turned in the witness list. It was supposed to be turned in 8 p.m. defense, give it to them at almost 6 a.m., 5:56 in the morning. They got to prepare those files to take to court.
Not only that, but the witnesses that they're bringing in, they don't even align with the case. They're bringing up incidents that happened that does not correlate to the case that's proceeding today.
Because that's all they have is what they're trying to piece together. And how you guys gonna piece together? I'm sorry, but Club Crucial sounded like the place to be for the city. Am I lying? Am I lying?
Let me tell you, I know one thing.
I'm saying it's not. You got a Grady baby, so sure. Were you Club Crucial? You know Club Crucial? Because Club Crucial sounded like that place. So I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, when I was in the A, I had fun.
Okay, so that lets you know all different sides of town are there. So that was the place to be. For them to even try to link anything from there is just crazy. And then not only that, you heard how many detectives testified that worked inside of there. And what were they asking? Did you see Jeffrey? No. Was Jeffrey there that time? No. Obviously not. Look at his tour book. Hello.
Right?
I said, I can't understand. I just can't understand it. They bring all these irrelevant things that I'm just really stuck at how she's acting surprised at these things, and she's seeing the affidavits and signing warrants behind the scene.
It's just horrible.
She knew it was coming, but I believe that Whitaker thinks that it's being used as a crutch. And if you think 10 hospitalizations in 3 to 4 months, 3.5 months ain't severe, you crazy. And if you want that type of crisis on your hands, like I said, I've been through it with my daughter and my god sister. That's how I lost her. And she was in for a regular crisis. She used to be in and out the hospital all the time, but she always came out. And after a couple days, the crisis will be done. This crisis, she never came out. And this was the only crisis she was actually up and eating, and she didn't make it out of that one. So if they want to put that type of risk on their hands, I'm telling you, things turn so fast with the sickle cell.
God, we all have to pray for him.
Because that ain't no joke. That is no joke.
And they just want him there. He's going to plead the fifth. That's what it stated. So what are they going to do?
And they can't do no forced immunity. He ain't got no charges.
Exactly.
Well, Woody had open charges that he didn't even know was dropped. So I don't even know how they got away with forced immunity on that deal. because his charges have been dropped. And then on top of it, I forgot all about that. I just looked at politicking with Mel. Hello, everybody that's come in. And he's got a touch of pneumonia.
Yeah.
So they were really freaking crazy. I ain't no way I would take that liability for no testimony. And then you especially know he's gonna plead the fifth. So what are you intending to do? And how did he go from a lay witness to he was a material witness with a warrant?
Exactly. Exactly.
How do you bump him up like that once you find out he's pleading the fifth, though? But I'm not taking that liability. Ain't no way. That county got enough. That county gets another body on their hands due to prosecution office. They'll have the whole freaking nation outside of that building.
I will let them know in advance. We will do a civil suit against you
That's
if
it.
he
That's
has
all.
another crisis
Yep. I
that's
give you.
tied to his stress, undue stress in regards to this case.
We put you on notice.
Yep.
We put you on notice, and you'll get your advancement. But a civil suit will come behind that. That's a serious liability to take. And they are not equipped to do no transfusions inside of there, and the continuous monitoring he would need a medical facility, and he's back there.
And then for her to say, well, we'll have medic standby. Lady, are
Oh
you
yeah,
serious?
that right there, that lets you know. It lets you know when she played the way she played, like when she didn't know nothing about it. She already signed the affidavit and the warrant the first time the attorney was there. She knew she had signed it days earlier, and she knew she wasn't buying whatever he was about to say. So that lets you know she's going off of what Love and the Love's assistant is telling her, is that he's using it as a crutch. And I'm gonna tell you something, that hospital too needs to be questioned, because no matter who they sent down there, they aren't to be releasing his medical information without
Exactly.
him filling out a release. The HIPAA applies even if you're law enforcement. He's not under investigation. This is about a material witness warrant.
Yep.
You don't have the authority or the rights to get his medical profile. And whatever personnel in that hospital that released it needs to be talked to.
I'm praying that he actually didn't fill out a release.
If he did not sign an authorization for them to get his medical information or any of that, if his attorney waived it, his attorney said he was there. So if his attorney waived it, then his attorney waived it. But they didn't have no right to get any piece of his medical without um, authorization being
No,
signed.
the state does not. They
They
do not.
don't. They don't override HIPAA.
No. I'm really praying
You said
that
what?
I'm really praying that he did not fill out a release, a medical release. I'm praying he didn't, because right there, that will be a violation.
Yeah, because you know they gonna use it to their advantage.
Right.
But if they just went up in there, and said, we have a material witness warrant, we need to take this patient into custody, what condition is he in, you can't release it.
Okay.
They used to get mad when I worked in that ER them years ago and I was in trauma. They would get so mad.
So Janelle, we need to know what Ashley Merchant said about the warrant.
No, Janelle, what's the business, Janelle? Mel, you're slacking. Usually Mel will let us know right away when she comes in, or Pamela. So I do got the affidavit. It's hard to see.
It's on page. Oh, okay. It's on our X page.
I didn't see that, but the affidavit was just very plain, just letting them know. It just basically gave his last known description, and he was a material witness. And then it just had all of and it says what he is a witness, what case he's a witness to. It just lists everything on the
RICO. She tweeted it today. That's funny.
Said Mel in bed rubbing her feet together.
And that's always feeling good. Like, woo, yes.
Man, why I'm laughing, because that's how I'm doing mine. I'm doing mine like that right now. Like, let me see. Let me look it up right now. Let me see what she said. I don't see it. I only see her stuff on Trump and Fani. I'm not seeing where she covered the it says check email. Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah. You gonna pull it up?
Yeah. Oh, there it goes right here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me see. Let me download it. All right. Mel's back in the good graces.
Before she started rubbing them feet and going to sleep.
Before she rubbing her feet. All right, hold on. Let me share this with y'all. Okay. Can y'all see it? Let me zoom in.
It only applies to criminal defendants.
Let me go up to the top. Y'all can see it good, or I need to zoom more?
Wow.
It looks like it's going down and then up. It says, this is nuts. There literally is zero ability to get a material witness warrant for an in-state witness who has not failed to show yet. We are making up laws again as we go along. I told you. The only remedy is a motion for contempt when an in-state witness who is under subpoena fails to appear. You can't get a warrant before they are supposed to appear just because you think they won't show.
Right.
That's exactly what yeah. The statute cited only applies to criminal defendants. There's no such thing as a material witness warrant for an in-state witness. They only exist for out-of-state witnesses. Yes, he could. The 11th Circuit ruled within last few years that a prosecutor, and in that case, just so happened to be from Fulton, did not have immunity for a faulty material witness warrant. There we go.
And Whitaker.
And she signed it.
Exactly.
And so, chat, what did I tell y'all about? They conned Mr. Glanville to do the boom, boom, Zoom meeting all together and got him in a world. And now they got Paige Whitaker in some stuff, because this ain't going away. This ain't going away. I said it the other day. It says that you have to fail to appear, and you had a place to serve him. There was no reason to even elevate him. And then she tried to say with new information, there is no new information. He don't have no charges.
Nope. I
Well,
believe
Judge
Judge
Whitaker
Whitaker
knew,
knew.
Janelle.
She knows. I don't. You know what?
She signed the affidavit and the warrant.
Right, but it seems as if I'm reading it correctly, Janelle, if she knows the law
That's
in
scary,
regards to
right?
this.
But it's
Is that
crazy.
what you mean?
It's crazy though that didn't even pop in her head. To say he hasn't appeared, what would he have a warrant for? He got to get his first date and time. Then that you get a material witness warrant when they fail to appear. You have to do that.
But then it also said if they're out of state,
and he's in state,
if
in
if
the
we're
hospital.
considering Grady a different state,
crazy, and it's down the street,
right?
And you sending your people down there to violate HIPAA.
Wow.
That attorney better come way harder tomorrow. He better walk in unannounced tomorrow with some fire. And if he's smart, he better contact the defense so they can help him.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm telling you, this ain't this ain't just gonna.
Oh, he was in NC? I didn't know that. Okay. Or was he really there? And
Jewel, according to the affidavit, and she put on record,
he was in Grady.
He was in Grady. And so did the defense. So that's a done deal. And that's what they had on the affidavit. Let me it says the state is applying for arrest warrant for material witness with the criminal offense of OCGA S17-7-90, Quindarius Zachary. And then it gives his height, his weight, his race, his date of birth, his last known address, which is a Georgia address. Mr. Zachary is a necessary and material witness regarding testimony related to count 1 RICO acts. And then it has which acts 16 to 20, acts 39 to 47, and count 2 murder. Mr. Zachary received an in-person admission by defendants Stillwell Kendricks of the murder and the facts and circumstances before, during, after its commission. Furthermore, Mr. Zachary has personal information related to his participation in the April 28, 2015 retaliatory shooting related to count 1, Act 41 through 46. To support such a warrant, the state has provided the court with an affidavit attached, provided by Assistant Chief Michael Green, Fulton County District Attorney Office, that is Love's assistant, demonstrating that the witness has demonstrated they will not appear in court when needed to testify in the above caption case. Above application by the state to obtain a material witness warrant for a material witness, Quindarius Zachary, and it gives all his information. And it says to be placed under arrest and held until he can testify at the trial. And it says, so ordered this 9th day of September. And it's signed. So for one, they have a Georgia address on there. So that's wrong. You can't make somebody testify and move them up. They never failed to appear, but you said that they have expressed they're not going to appear, and his dad can testify that that is a lie, because his dad said, we're not coming down there to talk to y'all in advance. You tell us the time that we need to appear, and that's when we'll be there. So they were told and had already the communication. And that is not what the law says. And she put her name and signed off on it. What you
That's
think
what I'm saying. Does Whitaker actually know? Where's she from?
Whitaker's from, originally they said she's from North Carolina or somewhere. They said she was from North Carolina and then came over, live in Georgia now. That's what her profile online say. You know, I looked them all up to see their background, where they come from.
I mean, because I understand that she said that she has not practiced as a lawyer. However, it does not negate the fact that you still need to know the Georgia laws if you are the honorable judge presiding over any
And for her not
trial.
to even question that, and where do you even think that he's expressed that he's not going to appear? He has to not appear for that to happen. So where did the judge miss that step? And why didn't the attorney stand on that?
That part. Because to me, and I like his attorney, he's so nice. And that's the problem.
That's the problem. But you could be nice and still know the law.
Absolutely. But
Because that should have been your first thing, instead of arguing about his condition. Yes, you have to say that again, but you need to say, Your Honor, this is not the law.
yes, and if he's uncomfortable, I would have teamed up with another lawyer and said, tell me the verbiage that I need to come to this judge.
He got to
You
send a
guys
young
work with-
buck.
Right, but
in
I'm
there.
saying they've been in front of this judge for thus far. I would have said, how do I address her in a manner that I can reach her? Although she may not take what he says, I would team up with them and
Well,
ask
how are
them.
you going to take anything from her assistant or her?
No,
And
not
you've
them,
been
the defense.
you've been in trouble for candor to the court, like Janelle said. You got lack of candor to the court, lady. I'm going to need to know why you want me to go against the law and sign this. And you guys literally can't even get out of it and fix this mistake, because he was arrested and he went into another sickle cell crisis and ended up going back to Grady.
So again, that's why you question
Spending
her
days
knowledge in
inside
regards.
Grady.
You
I mean,
question the judge's knowledge in regards to these cases and the facts and the laws.
I think she know the law. I think she did what she wanted to do to make him come, but that you still have to follow the law on it. I think she's losing sight of what her powers are. Glanville did the same thing.
I mean, but Merchant already expressed, I'm not a lawyer. So Merchant already displayed what can and cannot be done according to the law. They are
I'm telling
creating
you,
as they go.
He needs to make sure he shows up tomorrow again, and he needs to put that all on record. And that is the reason why Love didn't want to give a copy of that affidavit to him. When he said, I believe something's wrong with it. Oh, yes, sir. You know it is. And then for still to say there's no reason why defense don't have a copy of the affidavit and the arrest warrant. You damn right. You better get a copy, because you know that it's illegal and they're forcing another person up there.
They're forcing him. Yep. And I will want my hands
And then
way away from all of that, because
and
he's
for
going
them
to
to say right from the hospital to here, so that way they don't run into no other problems for him not to come. What?
Absolutely.
You lost your damn mind. You said, I don't care how sick he is. We need that testimony. Honey, none of them worked out for you. It displayed corruption and coercion, and now y'all done did it again and violated the law in the process. Y'all made it up to go to force. You can't do that. He got to not appear. You can't do that off of your theory is he's not going to show up. And his dad said, Give us the subpoena and we'll be there on the date and time, but we're not going to deal with you before that. You can't handle that.
So they're just trying to circumvent that just in case. You can't do it just in case in the law.
You sure can. They ain't gonna be satisfied. Boy, she really taking them all down with her.
I'm praying for him. I'm praying for his family. I'm praying for the defense.
Because this is
I'm
past.
praying for their clients. Like this right here.
When you got a judge that feels like she could do whatever she want to do because she holds that power, and you got a chief DA and you have another ADA that run off of, I got this power and this how I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna use it how I want to because I'm gonna get them. Somebody better step in with some sense.
And not only that, they're doing it amongst the world to see.
They've been caught red-handed so many times. Shoot. For them to even be playing, and then for that email to come back, boy, Hilton's lucky she skated out of that with her little explanation. Oh, I did not. That was a typo. No, ma'am. That ain't no typo. You know what you said, and you know how you explained it. And you know you skated out of that problem.
Everything's an accident or a mistake or oversight.
Ain't enough accident in this world.
And it's okay.
And then she's making it sound like she didn't know who was somebody in the office. Girl, say your assistant and say his name. Because you got him doing all your dirty work, honey. He better go to the church and dip him in holy water at this point. Because, man, I'm telling you, these actions are going to be a whole nother karma action. That's HE double hockey stick action.
It is.
You know, YouTube makes you be sensitive about the words. So I just come up with creative sayings.
It is. It's unfortunate because I would not want to see anyone go through this unjust event that we're seeing every day to the world. They're making a mockery out of these men. They're making a mockery out of the justice system.
And the whole thing is they don't even care. They don't even care. They want it that bad. And it's like y'all are running into problems trying to just meet one element. They got 3 other elements they still have to satisfy. And they struggling on the one element. You don't got what you wanted, and you have to accept that.
How many more witnesses do they have?
They added 28 more Monday.
Did they say that they started off with 800 or something like that? Did I hear?
They lied and said 800, and then it went 700, then it went 500, and then it went 300, and then they pared it down, she said, to 125. But then she added 28 more that she said she had to have based off of somebody's testimony. But then now that just got questioned today, saying, do you now need the 28 because this other testimony is not going through? So now she has that, and it's all cumulative. It's all, they're jumping around. One day you hear about this, and then the next day they'll jump to the other one. They'll jump back to that one. They'll bring a next witness talking about the one they covered 2 days prior. And I see what they're doing. They're trying to extend the same circumstances out to go from one shooting to another and showing different parts of the evidence to make it look like a whole bunch. But they can't even use the one that they kept on talking about because that was thrown out today because there was no evidence of a weapon, a person. They have nothing.
Because nothing is in furtherance of the YSL.
They're not even.
All of these events that are current, they're
not even on
they're
that.
Perpendicular to whatever is going on, whatever happened.
That's the whole crazy thing, though. They're not even on that element yet. They're still trying to prove the first element. That's element 3. They ain't even to that yet. They still struggling on element 1. So that's why I'm saying you got inexperienced people trying a RICO that don't even know the elements of the RICO.
What I do see though, I don't know how long, what is this? Brown has been an attorney. Maybe he's what is it, a attorney in class? Is this their class that they are doing these questionings to these witnesses?
You talking about the young ones that sit at the second table?
Yes.
I don't know. They sometimes rotate them up there for like a little bit of time. I don't know what their
Because
capacity
Brown
is.
was up there questioning. So, like, is this like their clinicals? Like for
No,
medical, you have clinicals. Is
I
this?
think Love was doing that to buy time because she was overdue on those emails because she was working the entire time on her laptop and then she'll stop him. But he was trying to prolong that time out so bad the judge had to keep telling him, get to your point. And then all his questions were getting sustained. Like I don't know. His way that he questions, his questions always, every time he's up, always gets them in a situation. And then he starts shouting and like having excitement. Like, I'm like, what is,
I can tell that he's trying to imitate Love, but he needs a few more years.
you notice Hilton is too? She did the
Hilton,
open mic.
yeah, but she knows how to present her case. Him, he's just, and I get it. Like, if you're new, because everyone's new at something, but you have to find your own niche. And so
I
he
don't think
has to
none of
get in
them
his
found it.
own
They're all
niche.
copying each other.
Yeah.
And it's all the wrong antics. If the defense got to show enough decency and ask for permission to approach the witness, there is no reason why the prosecutors are allowed to parade in front of the witness and stand directly in front of them during questioning to intimidate them, and you're standing over them at that
Yeah.
because they're sitting down and they're both tall. Well, Love is a tall lady and she puts those heels on. So that puts you up even higher off the ground. And so you're looking down at the witness, and that's another natural intimidating factor.
Yeah. They're showing their superiority.
Yeah, and then they're showing it to say these are our tactics and this is how we're going to do it. They have been caught red-handed, and more just keeps getting revealed. And as I said several lives ago, there's something with the extension where the judges get too deep personally involved and turn biased.
I did
And
not realize how biased she was. It's just spilling out at this point.
yeah, because how she did Zachary is crazy. And
Oh,
to act like you're getting an update on his condition, and girl, you just had his affidavit and signed his warrant.
on the 9th.
Yeah, so you were very clear on what was happening and what was going down. So why did you even play like that? And why would you put that show in front of the defense?
And too, like them cutting out the video as they're discussing matters. Where is that coming from all of a sudden?
That's what I said. You know what? I don't know. I don't know
It's
because
like there's something they're hiding.
yes, and
It's open court.
that's exactly what it is. And it's got to be treated with that. But for some reason, it's a lot of things that want to go hush hush, and you only want to go hush hush when you got something to hide. Because there should be it no different. I mean, any other open court you hear from beginning to end, unless it's a bench conference.
Mm-hmm.
In this situation with Zachary, she didn't want to, well, do you want to put this in open court? It's like, and the judge is like, I don't care. It's like, no, it should be handled in open court because what you guys are doing is against the law.
And so if I was a judge, I would have said just that. So why do you not want it to be open court, love?
That's
Is there something
exactly.
you're hiding? But I
But
guess
look
that's
at how
why I'm
she
not the
started
judge.
operating. I mean, she finishing their sentences
Yeah.
continuously. She
Yeah.
stays finishing the sentences. So there's something that keeps occurring, that this is a repetitive pattern now on why the judges coming in are biased, are turning biased. Then it makes you feel like, what is the different motive? You will not call a mistrial after 35 mistrial motions. You guys are not trying to call it. What is the purpose for that? And the only purpose that I can think of is if a higher court was sitting in and needed more information.
And then with the courts, they're addressing all of the misappropriation of the funds with Fani. So Fulton is just, they have their hands tied with corruption. And yes, they are hearing about this case.
Yeah,
but they're that money, their money.
Right. I'm gonna have you take over for 1 minute. I gotta grab my ice pack real quick.
Okay. So it's just unfortunate that they are not even attacking these issues that are going on right now. And then one thing I wanted to say, with all of this evidence that Love is bringing in, I love the fact that when Shar brought up Rule 418, that information, that Rule 418, it says it is in context of a trial, typically refers to specific rules within the justification of evidence that are pertaining to the gang activity. So everything that they are trying to bring up in regards to the gang activity, that's what they need to be focusing on, not in furtherance of a RICO, because thus far, everything that they've been presenting, it has nothing to do with a RICO. All of this information that's being presented right now, they're all independent upon who's ever had executed or conducted or participated in any furtherance of whichever matter pertaining to their own lives. So this case right here, it's just disheartening. I do not know what the future holds for these gentlemen. And it's an unfortunate thing for me to even feel this way, but I'm praying that we get a mistrial with prejudice. Again, we don't want a mistrial because that'll give the state time to try to come up with something else and hold these men in court even longer. Or an acquittal is what we need. I don't even know what's going on.
Nothing.
I really don't know.
They're struggling this bad on element 1.
Regardless of the elements, they have not proven anything.
They're going to have to let it go.
Other than Brady, they prove that they know how to violate. That's what they've proven. Prosecutorial misconduct, that's what they do all the time. But they're not proving a RICO.
Step 2, 3, and 4, we're going to hear way more excuses.
There's no RICO tied into this. Only thing that they've tied was the taxpayers' money into this. They have families emotional, mentally, physically worn out because of this. And they're just showing corruption is possible with the powers behind you, the authority. That's all they're showing.
And for the judge and the prosecutors to override the law to make sure that they can secure who they want to secure and force them there. We ain't seen that.
Yeah, they're trying to fit their own narrative to what they want it to be.
They're saying at any cost, you will come because I said so.
Yeah.
And you have a judge to justify that and not even read the law? Like, how did you forget that law, Whitaker? How did that law go away?
Again, that's why I was asking, does she really know it? And I'm not knocking her because, hey, she's the judge. She made it to that hierarchy somehow.
You don't need a big qualification.
Well, I'm still not gonna knock this lady in her education because I don't know. I don't know her background, and I don't even need to know it. But what I do see right now in present time is that she's violating these men's constitution. She's violating the law according to Georgia. That I do know. This is just a mockery of the justice system.
And it states too that if you're necessary, if the witness is material and necessary, it says, and will not cause undue hardship to the witness to be compelled to attend and testify in the prosecution or grand jury investigation. They can't do that. They're just bypassing everything.
Whitaker is slow compared to Love. You know, they're both just feeding off of each other's, in my opinion, they are both feeding off of each other's corruption. That's what they're doing. And then they act as if it's a mistake, or they have to reference another case law, what they want to bypass when it's presented to them. So they would dismiss and or negate the fact that they were presented information from the defense to help them understand why they object to certain things or why they bring up case laws that are referencing whatever it is that they're trying to present and add to their evidence.
That
But
attorney
still,
better be back tomorrow with that case law.
do you really think he will be?
Nope. Nope. I think he's going to try to go the doctor route. He needs to be doing both of them simultaneously at the same time. Come back with the doctor's note. Or hell, ask the doctor if he can go.
I would do that. I would forget a doctor's note. I would do that because that's the one I would plead to. I would say we don't want his, his blood on our hands. I don't
And
want
for
this to be
Whitaker,
on your hands.
yeah, and for Whitaker to say we'll have emergency personnel here, that's desperate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never seen nothing like it.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm looking to see what else it has on there. It says QZ attorney has a real case with this bench warrant. Yeah.
This is a civil suit, in my opinion. God forbid anything happens. God,
But for them to make it up as they go is scary.
it is.
They're saying it doesn't matter what it says, I'm doing it this way.
Yeah. Jesus.
Let me see.
I
Let's see
can't. That's
what did you think? What was the other part? Today. What was another big part that happened today?
Thorpe, when Steele cross-examined Thorpe with no evidence regarding the surveillance camera or the individuals that he's spoken to. And then I love was that today or was
Which
that
one?
yesterday? When was Thorpe on today?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. Oh, okay. Well, I thought that was funny because I'm like, this man,
Which part?
when he was saying that he did not get any evidence regarding the surveillance camera, he didn't get any evidence in regards to the people that he spoke to in regards to not having a surveillance camera, but we're supposed to believe what he says. I said, oh my goodness.
What got me was he said he refurbishes his notepads. I didn't know you could refurbish paper and ink.
I didn't either. I said, oh, that's new.
I said he is
I guess
skilled.
his refurbishing is when he cross it out and write over it. Because I don't think you can do that because you can't see through that.
Oh.
Oh.
I just was like, okay, well,
But out of all the cases, it's this case that he didn't have his notepad. Okay. And the
yeah,
last
it
witness
does say
that didn't want to be there. Oh yeah.
it
That's
does
the
say
one they
if
wanted to
you
strike
fail
from the
to
record.
appear.
It says what?
They and then I can't even get it out. I'm so mad. His first one, he was served the first subpoena. And the first subpoena expired because it's been over a year. So they went through all this trouble, but they got the information that he was pleading the fifth. So they're doing all this extra unnecessary stuff, which is wild because y'all let y'all subpoena expire. Y'all did that.
Right. They weren't ready.
And the same way they showed up to the hospital, they could have dropped off the updated subpoena and went on about their way. They knew his whereabouts. There was no reason why they did it. And then on top of it, they let the man get filmed after he already walked in. And Law and Crime knew he wasn't supposed to be filmed, so had already blanked him out.
Look, Keith Mobile said his family said he did show up for court, but they didn't need him. So again,
that's right. That's right. It was too early, they said. That's right.
When was that? When Glanville was
2 months ago.
Oh. So I wonder if his counsel know that.
Yeah, that was like
Yeah,
that was like 3 months ago. I forgot all about that.
Wow.
I thought that he called and they weren't ready or had let him know that he wasn't ready.
I wonder if Whitaker know that as well. But I'm sure they kept that information away from her. But she should have already checked about the witnesses that they were calling anyway. Instead of asking, well, were they already on the stand before? It's your due diligence to check, to see.
Well, not only that though, it's frustrating that there's a lot of pieces that the attorneys could say and bring forward that will make a difference. Don't piece it up, put it all together. He is in a crisis, Your Honor, 10 times hospitalized in the past 3.5 months. He is in bad condition. He's had transfusions. Extra stress will increase the crisis. It increases your blood pressure. It affects your 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 system, and you're going to go into deeper issues. Okay, not only that, Your Honor, the affidavit is incorrect. Once he looked at it and got a copy of it, he should have looked it over and said something right there. Don't walk off. But every time he says something, I see Love does her stand up. That's her superior thing. But they need to start putting it all on the wood at once and laying it on that judge and putting it on her in full.
So, so that's not his primary lawyer. It's just a fill-in. Damn. See, this is always, it should not be like this. You should not have to have a lot of money for a well-versed counsel to have a fair trial. Okay, so that's why that counsel said he can't be in court all day or at the hospital.
Wow, that's crazy for that much. But it's that same gentleman?
That's
or that's a stand-in attorney that's just pleading for his health right now, or that's the attorney that wants the 20,000.
Darn.
I know my family's case, each of the guys had to have their own attorney, 75,000 down for each one.
Dang. No, he's trying to do what he can, but the attorneys, they tried to. Dang, 20,000 or better. And I bet, because another, whoever was representing, what was his name? Munktum, said this case would have put him in financial ruins because of how long it's taken. 20,000 is just a start. Oh, yeah. And that made sense because this trial has been going on way too long.
Nobody wants to touch it with a 10-foot pole, and everybody knows that 2 prosecutors left the office with this case. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
They got that bag, Keys.
Wow. This is so disheartening. I can't even imagine.
I can't. Let me see how much they've raised so far. I wonder, let me see. Let me see how many funds were raised. He's got 8,522, and he's got a $25,000 goal.
Damn.
So he's close to 10,000. So hopefully his attorney really should take way lower than that, for one, because he's only testifying. You're not really doing anything but objecting if needed. You're not having to prepare a case, and you're going to have to deal with this issue that is on the table about the law being violated with how they went about to secure this. Number one.
His grandmother passed away.
Yeah, and his grandmother passed. He can't get that back for being a witness. They are forcing him to be even more uncooperative. What makes you think that he's going to want to cooperate with you at all? And this is the type of treatment y'all are given. They're strong arming all their witnesses.
Yeah, they are.
And there's nothing that they have strong armed about them that changes any of the circumstance.
No, because they still get on the stand and do the witnesses are doing what they know is ethically correct. They're telling their truth according to how they feel is their truth. That's what they're doing.
I want to know what's going to come out with this doctor situation and how the investigator got that information. Hold on real quick, Ken. Take over.
Okay. Yep, they are mentally harassing the witnesses. And then I don't think, yeah, that lawyer is a pushover. But then again, if he feels as if he should not put any efforts into this because he's not getting paid, unfortunately, God, and I hate to say it, but he's doing the bare minimum, which he had taken this job under oath to be fair. And again, all they are looking at is the money. How fair is that? And it just shows that if you have money, you are able to get a lawyer, someone that's going to stand in for you, someone that's going to fight for your right, not just someone that's going to sit there and be mute and allow whatever is handed down to you or talk you into receiving a plea deal that they know is not going to benefit you. Again, what I see this as, this is the new Jim Crow for Black men. This is exactly what it is.
I'm back. Sorry.
This is unfortunate. This is the new Jim Crow.
I think he'll keep it, though, especially because it's getting some media. He's gonna get his fame off of it. If he already did an interview with the news, I think he'll keep it. He knows there's a GoFundMe. He knows the money's coming in. He knows that the nation's watching, and he knows that the news has been covering this situation and people are sympathetic.
I'm hoping he's not going to keep it because it's tied to a name and it's tied to media. That's not what he signed up. Well,
you got to remember, it's business for him.
Obviously.
Because I feel like once he got that affidavit in his hand, once he read that last sentence, I read it to y'all. It showed right there that the law wasn't followed. He should have turned himself right back around.
Yeah, but he didn't have that in his hands, in his possession.
Yeah, she gave him a copy right in court.
Did he really read it?
I mean, it wasn't that. That's what I'm saying, though. At a fault to him, It's not that long. It's a paragraph.
Yeah.
I just read it. I mean, I had to screenshot it off my phone from the screen, but it's only a paragraph, so it would have took a maximum, if he's a slower reader, 2 minutes. And he could have just said, Your Honor, we need to discuss this. I'm sorry for taking up the court's time or whatever else, but he needs to be right back up in there tomorrow.
I wonder what they met for.
What you mean?
He met with Love after they left out the
Oh
plea.
yeah. That's what didn't the judge say something to the effect for them to get together and talk or whatever? Love ain't worried about nothing but getting that testimony. And you heard what she said. We're trying to secure him before something else occurs,
Yeah.
or she didn't want to say if he died.
And you
That's
know what? I was really thinking that.
Yeah, because
And I
that's
didn't
how
want my mind to go to that.
that's sure enough how she came out with it and just went around it. That's exactly, I mean,
Oh. Wow. He called up. Well, hey.
who said it got bad enough?
He called Love something that she. Oh, well.
Oh shit.
I mean,
Wait, where did y'all get this from? Wait a minute. Where did I miss today? Wait,
oh, okay.
where did
Well,
y'all get this?
I'm proud of him then. He
Where,
needs to stand up
where did this happen at? Where you guys
in
get
the
this info? It's
courthouse,
on camera?
the courtroom. When
I'm
they
saying,
left the courtroom. Oh, well, evil it's a good representation.
that's
Man.
something. Key said y'all wasn't listening. I need to know what, after she lied in his face, he is
Yep.
something changed.
That's exactly true. Now I heard that part because that's what he was saying. And that's what I was saying. He said that she lied.
But she put her investigator up there to even lie
Her
for her. You
investigator,
heard what
right?
the
They
judge
lied.
said.
Wow.
Yeah, all this better come out tomorrow.
Wow.
That is crazy.
This is really sad.
It's by any means
What? They were yelling
necessary.
at each other?
Yeah, they kind of went back and forth. He said he stood back there in the back and said whatever he said. I'm gonna have to go back and re-listen to that part. I started paying attention to what Atkins was up there doing because Atkins was looking like um, he had that look again when they were talking about the affidavit, and the judge had just made the copy and was telling Mrs. Pursfield to get it over to the defense attorneys as well, along with the arrest warrant. I noticed that there was some friction in Atkins' face where he looked
Yeah.
as if it was he was nervous. So that means they all looked at that mess and somehow thought that this was the right thing to do. And they're taking all of these liabilities, so he has to show up tomorrow. He needs to put this on record. He needs to lay all this out tomorrow. But making up laws as they go, that's the same thing that office is in trouble with, the ignoring the subpoenas.
For Fonnie?
Yeah, so how come she can run free? He was a regular lay witness to be a material witness, bumped up out of law, out of order, And you got that office under scrutiny for ignoring open records requests right now. And you got the head honcho dodging subpoenas. So how can a warrant for any subpoena go out from that office? Your boss not even compliant. So how y'all even gonna push that on anybody else?
Already said after that move page for today,
Oh, Keys, the investigator already took the stand today at the end of the day. It was on record. And he said that the doctor said that it would not affect him.
Well, she needs to end up the same way as Glenville. What they need to do is move this case out of Georgia.
It needs to be out of that jurisdiction, period.
Yeah, it needs to be moved.
It needs to be out of that jurisdiction all the way around the board. This case is damage beyond repair. Yes, Keys, he got on the stand at the end of the day and they asked his title. He was the same one that was on the affidavit. It's Love's assistant. And he said that the doctor said that he would be able to testify and it would not affect him. You must have missed that part, but they did film it at the end, and I thought he came after the ladies, the two ladies, the one that got her testimony striked, and then there was another one that came on after, and then they brought him on right at the end. So that's really curious that that's what he said. And it seems like it's being placed, but you see Miss Love's first comment was something he was nice enough to meet us down there, and then it turned into she wasn't there. So they need to go back and listen to her wording. And you do remember she wasn't in court that day for half the day.
Did they say why they're going to be starting late tomorrow?
9:00, ain't it?
9:30.
I didn't see 9:30. I know the judge hates getting up early because she's been expressing that. She makes a real big deal out of just a few minutes, but will delay a whole couple hours. It seems like every morning they've had some sort of delay of something that has occurred. I can't believe that the judge to take the investigator's word, and now all they have to do is get it from the doctor in writing, and there goes that right there.
Exactly. Like if I was Whitaker, I would have said, I don't want to hear what you have to say. I don't want to hear what the investigator got to say. I want to hear exactly from the doctor.
Yep. That's exactly how she was supposed to play it. So it's going to be interesting to see how she takes that. It says lawyers have to be there at 8:45 to meet.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought she said the 9:00 start time or whatever. It's going to be interesting to see how
it's late to the jury. Okay, Keith Mobile said that.
It says
yeah, it's going to be late.
Yeah, I don't know what they think that they're going to get from this, or how they think strong arming all these witnesses. See, it was allowed when it was under Glanville, and see now you really didn't have that many people or lawyers come forward like they are now. I think everybody has had enough of this trial. Everybody, including everyone's attorneys that are representing these witnesses, everybody is at their wits' end with every single aspect of the trial. They're tired of their antics. They know that they've been being unraveled. They have been on display for these actions, and they're not taking it no more. And you're seeing it witness after witness after witness, something occur and something that they do. These things ain't no little coincidences. They're getting caught red-handed in every single aspect. It's gonna all come together. They're slipping and sliding, but they're gonna slip real hard because they are making up laws as they go, and they're strong arming all their witnesses and forcing them to do what they want them to do. And if you don't, you are gonna get a punishment, and you cannot do your witnesses like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play it. But he's got a lot of information he can come back with just off the affidavit and the warrant alone. But I don't know why he didn't argue that today, knowing that they haven't missed no court date. The attorneys, nobody has missed. Beautiful One said Love's candor is going to take her down. I don't think Love's going to be the fall person.
I don't think Love cares. I think it'll be, what's his name? Atkins.
I don't know. For some reason, I think it's going to end up hitting Simone. I think it's going to end up hitting Simone unintentionally, because I've been watching how she's been maneuvering these past couple of days. She's been really hiding. But if you look at the prior actions that's happened, you see Love didn't take out this affidavit in her name. She had her assistant. You see, when it came down to some other put together testimony, she put an investigator and he couldn't back it up. And then the notes are gone. And then you see the relationship with Gaither came out. Well, Gaither has no reports in her trail. Those are all missing mysteriously. Thorpe's are missing mysteriously.
Exactly.
And then you find out that's an auntie. So then you got to look at when the ex partes happened. She started it off and got up out of there. And so when all the other language and all the other stuff was being put on record, she dismissed herself. She's setting everybody up for the fall, and she's the one that is the mastermind on playing dirty.
Yeah, but now it's
going to hit Hilton first.
I see Hilton
in the dark.
Hilton is maneuvering. She's playing the game just like Love.
But the problem is obvious. The problem is when she throws her rock and tries to hide her hand, she ends up getting both her hands hit.
If she
a hit dog gonna holler.
I know she will take Love with her.
A hit dog gonna holler, and I'm gonna tell you, if she take the fall for Love's mess because of how Love set it up, because Hilton has been the deliverer of the BS that Love puts into action. Atkins don't do much, and you have to remember his facial expressions when the BS comes about. He is surprised. He's a as need to know basis, and you can tell that's how they do him.
Yeah, she's
but I'm gonna tell you, a hit dog gon' holla, and when Hilton gets that hit, she gonna holla, and it's gonna bring Love down with her.
Oh yeah.
She ain't gonna go down by herself. And they gonna try to pull her. They're gonna pull on Atkins' coattail, and he's gonna be like, I didn't even know this. I didn't know that. I didn't know this. You guys were surprising me along the way.
Yeah, Love is easy to read. That's what I'm saying. Hilton, she can maneuver in silence. And she's doing everything under the discretion of her boss. And it's witnessed amongst America because we see it.
And Love is and Love is doing what her boss is telling her. And her boss right now is ducking and dodging subpoenas.
But see, Love, she tries to, and I don't want to say try, but she's maneuvering like, she's in charge. I know she doesn't want to tie her boss into the mess, but I don't know.
I don't think they care who gets tied in. They want that win no matter what. That they're not giving a damn on who's getting tied or braided or roped into it. You see, Whitaker just got roped in that fast by signing something she didn't look up the case law to.
She's just an extension of them, so I don't.
And that's what I'm saying. It's something that is happening behind the scenes at another level for every judge to hit
Yep,
that
they're
bench
in it
with fire.
together. That's how I feel.
Ain't
They're
no
in
way
it
that they can't
together.
be. Ain't no way that they can't be. She finishes their sentences. She helps them along. They've been allowed to run the courtroom. They don't got to turn nothing in on time. They are running that show. Monica said he was hiding in the back speaking low. That's the problem. He should be the one speaking the most, the highest. He got case law that supports him. He could
Yep.
shut it all down by reciting it and letting them know that they were both in the wrong, the judge and the prosecution table. And go and bring your assistant in, love. Bring him in again. Because he lied on record.
Yeah, that's why they need to go ahead and get the physician in to testify.
Ain't no doubt. Ain't no doubt. That doctor has to come, and they better hope that lawyer right. They better hope they better whoever it is, they better hope they're just truthful to put it, because a doctor note or a doctor in person is going to shut that down, and the law on it is going to shut it down. They didn't have the authority to do what they did. You can't strong arm your witnesses like that. Regardless of what they think they know, they have the option as a witness to plead the fifth. You can't take that away from people.
I hope that lawyer is ready for them
He
tomorrow.
better be, and he better get a microphone instead of trying to just stand to the side and talk. His voice don't project. He better grab that open mic night. I'm telling you, he better get like Love and parade around that thing and stop right in front of the judge and say, "Oh, well, I watched this on TV. This is what your prosecution been doing." They don't even got to ask permission to approach a witness no more.
I know, because
I'm sorry, guys. I got jokes.
walking up there.
I'm quite sure it's a lot different in person. Yeah, but they just it makes a impact. It's got to be like that in person too, because you always hear the judge saying, "Speak up enough so the court reporter can hear."
Yeah, it's like they're shy.
Yeah, Love ain't coming off that open mic, nothing, a microphone. That is her solo joint.
Love is a bully.
Says no, Monica is talking about the person who verified what the doctor said. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that's her assistant. We're gonna see tomorrow, guys. We're gonna see.
I'm praying for the best
And
outcome for him.
it's a shame that Whitaker didn't even announce the sister's letter or take it
And
into
she had it.
consideration. Says this is crazy. Why is the judge signing a material witness warrant when it should be a bench warrant since the person was already subpoenaed? Judge Whitaker claims she knows the law but don't follow. He needs to
And
see
that's
the
what we were
case.
just talking about.
Yep, we said it needs to be a civil suit right now. 1, 2, 3, go.
Yep, she always wants the lawyers
I
to
gotta
recite.
go
And that's
back.
why I'm like, if they are giving you these case laws and these numbers, reference them. They are helping you.
I gotta go back to what she said the first day she came on. I got to pull it up right now while you're talking to them because she said something to the effect on, I think she said she hadn't practiced criminal
Right.
law
She
in a
said
long
she
time.
hasn't practiced in a long time. And that's again why I said that.
Let
I
me
don't
see.
knock her education. I'm just questioning how long has it been for her to preside over a trial such as this? Because I don't know.
Let me
So
see.
she's acting as if she's brand new to this. And she has all eyes on her because we are wanting to see justice. And she is practicing as if we're all in a classroom learning right along with her. And the defense, they are teaching us as she's getting her education as well, while Love is being manipulative and corrupt. So,
Yeah, we seen they put Glanville in a situation.
well, you know what? Let me not even say nothing because it's getting late, and I'm trying to be
They,
nice today.
they got Glanville wrapped up. They got Whitaker wrapped up. Boy, I tell you, these mamma jammas are, boy, a hit dog gonna holler so hard, and America's gonna say, what took so long? What else did they have to do to show y'all what they are doing to piece this together? They are strong arming to make sure their information and belief come forward with
Yeah.
no type of evidence. It's crazy. And we got court in a few short hours again. Um, but we had to read the letter. We have not heard of it in court. They haven't said nothing. And we're going to see if his attorney comes back tomorrow about this affidavit and this warrant. It says, and when Hilton was asking, could she approach the witness, Whitaker was like, yes, you may, as if that is the proper way.
So they want to have candor right now.
Exactly. After your chief been parading around on open mic night reciting her notes that are just.
It's
Oh,
made
and
me
then
so
when she called Mr. Brown Mrs. Brown, he got so in his body and feelings, he had to put that on record.
I know, but my thing is, sir, just do your job. Like no one, I don't want to be rude, but no one cares. Just go up there and do your direct without having anything to say.
Oh, he
That's
took
just
that
it.
to the chest. He took that to the chest. The sheriff come with a smile on his face and then whispered in his ear, and then his face looked serious.
Yeah,
That's
I've seen
because he
that.
was mad for real. I'm like, them pronouns bother you?
Right?
They
Just,
do they? Do they? Do
it
they,
doesn't
Mr.
even
Brown? Do
matter.
they bother you, Mr. Brown? Do those pronouns bother you? Come on. That was a way to deflect
Hmm.
his
And she did do it again today, but she said her words run together. Okay.
so
Again,
does
I don't know
love.
if they do or don't. I don't really even care. And he shouldn't have taken it that way. His job is to do his job
Well,
and
he
get the
got
answers on
interrupted
direct.
so many times.
I know. I know.
Sustain, and then he was like, okay. It's like, I don't think you should even said that after that, sir. Like,
Right? You know, if he gonna cry, he gonna cry. Like on Friday.
it don't make no sense, but it's just the way that they're doing it. But this attorney he had overnight tonight to prepare something nice, and he needs to come back with the 1-2 and stand on business.
Hmm.
See, they need somebody like Ashley Merchant up in there.
Oh, yes.
They need her up in there to lay down. and excuse me, and lay it flat, because at the end of the day, that judge needs full explanation. And I feel like she always gets things in pieces kind of everywhere. You got to lay it on, and when you lay it on, you have to lay it all on and lay it on thick and put that full court and the ball in front of them. So there ain't no wiggle room.
Absolutely.
And get some control of your courtroom, because you got literally a chief prosecutor running around the floor on open mic night like she is at Sunday service, going back and forth preaching, going around the table, start shouting. That's what Bishop used to do in church on Sunday. He'd be shouting out of nowhere, yelling and moving all around on the microphone. That's what it reminded me of. And every time he used to scream, and yeah, I swear I got PTSD.
Not PTSD.
Yeah, I used to jump like up every time the scream used to come out of nowhere, the yell, the voice elevation. I said, Lord, have mercy. It's the same thing love does. Says, would the jury happen to disregard so much of the witness's testimony? Can they even just give just verdict at this point? No way, Janelle. They're not even going to know what to consider at this point. So much stuff has been striked. Yes. Key said love is like a bad child. Like one of those children that was out. See, she's got a way to her that I'm going to do it my way, and her ego's going to lead her. And she'll argue the consequence up and down that she's right. It's like, you ever meet one of those people or ever have one of those friends that no matter what they did, they refuse to apologize?
Mm-hmm.
It says, stay tipsy, said last message. Let me see. Where's the last
They don't
message?
want to,
They're trying to
backdoor it,
yeah,
because they don't want to use the use immunity way. So this way, until he testifies, he will be held regardless till he satisfies his obligations.
Dirty work at its best. Yeah. They can't use it that way, though. There's no charges.
Exactly. He doesn't have anything for an immunity to be applied to. Like, what other, does he have any outstanding warrants or anything like that?
Only no, the subpoena. He already,
he has no use for immunity. Immunity for what?
The shooting that they have him under, that is listed on there, and they put on the affidavit, he's already served his time for that.
So
that's already
you
done.
Can't do double jeopardy. You can't do that. That's
no, but what they're not trying to do double jeopardy as a charge. What they're trying to do is use his crime to say that it was one of the overacts in furtherance of, and you can't do that because it's an independent case with him and Montunk and somebody else, and it was an independent act. They had already served their time,
right?
So they can't use an old case, and that's what they've doing with all these 191 overacts. 190 of them don't apply.
Right. So since it doesn't apply, since it does not apply to this, because like you said, he served his time for this.
And right, but they're trying to use that for a RICO, and you
right,
can't.
And that's why I'm saying they can't, because you charged him with it. It does not align with this RICO, and it's not an overt act because it was not in furtherance of YSL. So use immunity is not going to apply.
It was in furtherance of this my girl.
It's not applicable in this case.
And see, that's the whole thing on why they're trying to strong arm him that way. That's why he went from lay, and then they're like, okay, well, we're going to use the arrest tactic, because then you're not going to have a choice, but you can't do that. It's just the whole way that they're trying to do it. And 190 of your overacts can't even be found guilty or not guilty, and you can't use old cases and try to run them together, because even with you trying to do that to satisfy element 1, you're going to run into major problems in element 3 and 4 to meet the burden of RICO.
None of this
So
is
you don't have none of the 4 elements. Stop trying if you're struggling this bad on element 1, because you got 3 more stages that you're going to fall through floor 1.
yeah.
You're already the foundation is so cracked. This whole thing is so flawed. And then their illegal search warrant on Jeffrey's home, they can't even use nothing out of there. They have to make sure they exclude it out. Love almost slipped up and tried to have them bring it up yesterday. It's so messy, they can't even keep up with them. They mess.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's too much.
It's really disgusting to keep on, says depending what he testifies about, he can later be charged for it if he doesn't get immunity. But the one thing that they have listed for him, stay tipsy, is the shooting that he was involved with. He's already done his time for that. There's nothing else. They just said in the affidavit they believe he has information on other stuff,
Right.
but not a part of it. So the only thing that they have against him, they recognize he's already done his time for. But they think that he has more information that they could possibly use. They think
Right.
he has valuable information, is what they stated in the affidavit.
And that's why they're calling him a material witness,
And
because
it
they
doesn't
want to extract
support,
that
right?
information. Exactly.
Yes, Stay Tipsy says, but what they are doing with this material warrant, they are holding him in jail until he satisfies what the state needs, regardless if he has charges or not. The motion is already signed and sealed. Yes, but the thing with that is they're saying because he has what they say valuable information. And they also said in the affidavit that they had belief that he was not going to show, and you can't use that. They have went against the law by actually signing the warrant because it didn't meet the criteria. So that's what his attorney needs to fight tomorrow, is that is not the law. The law does not state that they are able to do that. You have to miss a court date, number one, and he never missed the court date for it to turn into a material warrant. And even if they believed he wasn't going to show, he still had it missed at that point.
Right.
So just because you think he has valuable information and you're saying, well, you have to testify because one of these crimes that we're talking about, you did time for, that doesn't make it any better.
Exactly. So he does not have probative information for this case in regards to what what the state is looking for.
Right. And
He's
off
done
their
what he did, and
information
it's
and belief.
over. So
Right.
this
And
man
off
is
their
sick.
information and belief, they're saying, I don't care if I violate you or not.
Right.
If I
So,
feel that you got good information, then I'm going to strong arm you.
yeah.
And that's exactly what they're doing. They were able to do Woody like that because he had open pending charges on that case.
Absolutely.
But they did his under false pretense, not even letting him know that when they gave him that immunity, that his charges have been dropped months prior.
And this should have been quashed.
And
But again, when it's corruption, they're going to play however they want to, whether it's the law, whether you know it to be true or not. Because again, did he have a lawyer there to support him? It looked like that they were requesting 20,000. So if you have no one there that's going to represent you, then what? Again, justice is
Woody
coming
got
to those who have
a
money.
Woody got a civil lawsuit anyway because his footage got leaked, number one. And number two, how they kept detaining him and missing his court. All that stuff is on record because
Yeah.
anytime anybody of law enforcement, of investigators come to the jail to talk to you, you have to sign in and out. And it will be right there on camera. He was pulled from his cell and brought into that room. and it was done on his court date. So, I mean, if I were him and the type of scrutiny he's under, um, I think he should follow his sister's lead on that and have the civil suit filed. Because he definitely has grounds for a civil suit.
Yeah.
But Jeffrey has a lot of grounds for a civil suit because he's definitely been targeted. And it has been coming out day by day that he is targeted. They are trying to throw this he's in charge of them, and they're all doing their own thing, and it's very clear and evident, and their individual hiccups with the law shows that they were off doing their individual things.
Absolutely.
And it's crazy because every time something went on, if you look at his book, he's on tour. So I don't even know how they think that they can satisfy anything. It's just the whole everything of backdooring. Like, there is no way publicly you guys can put this corruption out on the table and not think that people of the world that are watching don't know the law and don't know that you guys are violating it every rip. And you got your boss ducking and dodging subpoenas.
I'm really interested to see how this goes tomorrow.
Yeah, he definitely has to show up and fight for it. He definitely has to show up at court tomorrow, and this affidavit and this warrant needs to be talked about. And for the judge not to review the law or look over to see, and maybe, I'm going to say maybe went off a recollection. You can't go off a recollection when you're signing warrants, honey. You better know what you signing and what they're putting on there. Because if you couldn't take their word for it just on a regular basis, what makes you think you could take their word for it for an affidavit and a warrant? You sound crazy. Did you see Ken when she fell on the thing?
Who?
The judge did, girl, the other day. I think it was Monday.
No.
The judge got up to get a piece of paper and fell down and flew up so fast. I'd never seen nobody get up that fast. And she had one hand in the air and said, "I'm all right."
Oh.
I said, "Oh my gosh." I had to tell myself, I had to tell myself, I said, I don't know what be going on half the time up there, what she thinks is happening.
I'm glad she's okay.
I don't think she knew if she was, the way she bounced up.
Well,
Did you I don't know. I'm gonna see. I gotta go back and watch the end of the they said he was talking low from the back wall. But I just want to know, is he gonna show up about this affidavit and this warrant tomorrow and really put a fuss down and show up with this doctor's note? Because it really needs to be revealed if they sat up there and lied and had a whole investigator go up there and lie.
oh man, I know.
But they'll try to backpedal it and say they thought they heard or something, but they need to get over how they were able to get this information without authorization signed, a release for his HIPAA. You can't violate HIPAA even if you're the law. Even if when there was car accident victims that would come in and the police would suspect they were intoxicated, we could not take no blood or do no toxicology unless there was a warrant. And some officers used to get mad and try to threaten us when we would not do it, because legally we cannot if they did not consent to it unless they got a warrant. And they used to try to get real nasty about the situation. So no matter what the law does not uphold where you could just go violate HIPAA. So it's going to be interesting how they popped up and were able to get what medication he takes. Is he well enough? Will it interfere and all of that? You are not an advocate of this young man, this patient. You are not privileged to that information unless he signed a release that says that they may give it to you.
Well,
But if the doctor don't show up, they need to make sure that there is a letter on that behalf. It starts in a few short hours, so we'll see.
yes, we will.
We'll see. Ken, you got anything else for them? I need to go ice.
I just want to say good night and thank you guys.
I'm in pain tonight, y'all. I need to go ice and go elevate myself and get myself together for tomorrow. So I will see you guys. Tune in for tomorrow night says, well, I'll tune in for the fireworks tomorrow. Janelle, it's going to be
Boom,
going
boom,
down
boom.
tomorrow
That's my
night.
fireworks sound.
You already you already know we are going to be fired up tomorrow based off of what comes forward tomorrow. So you already know. So we hope you guys have a really good night. Thank you for tuning in, and we will be back tomorrow to see what else has happened on day 138.
Yes, you guys.
believe
Let's
that's
all
where we're
pray
at.
for this.
Yes. You guys have a great night and be safe until we're back here tomorrow. Have a good one, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.